Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Robin's Nest. We're going to talk a little NASCAR today and a little Formula One. NASCAR dropped a bombshell this morning, so I want to get into that. As always, if you find my rants interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications, the works. Also check out our eBay page, link is in the description. If you're interested in auto parts, t-shirts, hats, die-cast cars, anything automotive or racing related, we've got what you're looking for. So check that out. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so if you haven't been paying attention today, if you haven't heard the news, NASCAR dropped a bombshell to do with their playoffs. I believe they have finally fixed the fundamental issue with their point system. And you know, it took a long time, but they finally came around. And yeah, I'm tickled to death. They have officially, starting in 2026, changed the venue from Phoenix as the last race, as the Final Four showdown, whatever you want to call it. Phoenix is no longer going to be holding that position. It will be Homestead, Miami. There you have it. The solution that we've all been asking for. Everyone who has complained about the playoff system from day one, what we all actually wanted was just a change in venue. That's going to fix every problem with their championship format, I believe. Straight off the top. You know, it's exciting. I can't wait to see what the future holds now, moving into the next chapter. Like, come on. Nonsense. Nonsense. No, the venue was never really the issue. Okay, yeah, I guess everyone's sick and tired of seeing Penske smoke everybody at Phoenix. Okay, but that's not the fundamental issue. Is the fact that, like, Joey Logano last year, who should have been, what, 13th, 14th in points, won the championship. That's our problem. Like, if you followed my channel for any length of time, you know, I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, or sound like a broken record, whatever you want to say, when it comes to NASCAR, because I constantly complain. Okay, I know that, and I accept that. But see, I grew up watching NASCAR from like 96, 97 onward. Worked for Rick Hendrick, which was like a feather in my cap, by the way. One of the coolest things I ever did. And so, like, I've been around the sport in some shape, form, or fashion my entire life. And to just see a group of people act like they're completely incompetent to the degree that Ben Kennedy, Jim France, both the Steves have done is just it's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. I really don't know what to say. It's like they admit that they see an issue. Okay, we're going to do something to fix that problem. And then they go completely out in left field and do something that no one was asking for. Kind of like with the playoff format in the first place. No one was asking for that. If you rewind the clock all the way back, and when I say playoff format, I'm talking about every generation of it since they changed it like every couple of years, a few years ago. From 2004, like, no one asked for that. When Matt Kenseth won one race and won the championship, all anybody wanted was for someone like Ryan Newman, who won like 8 races that year but finished like 8th or 9th in points, was to be awarded more points for winning races. That is it. It's such an easy fix. But no, these geniuses, they don't know how to fix something properly. And I made a video yesterday where I was touching on the car, not physically, metaphorically. I was talking about the car, the new car, the Gen 7, and how awful it races. There are easy fixes to that problem, but like, they're so incompetent that they can't do it. They would rather turn the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro into a glorified test session because these idiots can't figure out how to get the car to race properly. Which, by the way, speaking of that, there's a really easy fix for that. Let's just go back to the Gen 4. Okay? I remember when the Gen 4 was a thing. And yeah, you had some era issues here and there, but overall, especially in comparison to the COT, the Gen 6, and the Gen 7, it was head and shoulders a better race car than any of those have been. And then people will say, well, they weren't safe. Well, they weren't safe. Just put the modern safety equipment in the Gen 4. That's it, man. It's really that simple. You know, if you look at the Cars Tour, it's about the closest thing to a Gen 4 stock car that's out there right now. And I understand they race on short tracks. They don't race on anything that's like really big. No mile and a half or whatever. But the show that those guys put on in those cars is next to none, in my opinion. You know, another thing with the Gen 7 is those cars are so stiff now. You could clobber the hell out of somebody and it doesn't damage your car. Whereas back in the day, in the Gen 4 era, you know, driving like an idiot was kind of self-policing because the car was so fragile. If you knock the hell out of somebody, you're probably going to knock your radiator out or something like that. That doesn't really happen nowadays. But that's an easy fix. An easy fix. But they'll never do it. It will never happen. Because NASCAR and easy fixes, it's like they get close to one another, but they just can't quite marry up. You know what I mean? They're right there at the precipice of just being one and the same. But they can't do it. I don't think it's because of money. I don't think it's because of politics going on behind the scenes. I genuinely think it is incompetence. And the future is, I take back what I said a few minutes ago. I was saying it tongue-in-cheek anyways, but the future is not bright. Once Jim France is out of CEO position, Ben Kennedy is going to take over, and you think that it's been a shit show now? Just wait. It's going to be way worse. So you're going to have Ben Kennedy with Steve O'Donnell as the president of NASCAR. Hey, I wish them all the best, and I hope that they get it sorted out, but they've not instilled a bunch of confidence in me up to this point. You know, when everyone was complaining about a guy winning, I don't even remember how many races Joey won before he won the championship. I think like 1 or 2, maybe, but was like 13th. If the points were like, if it was a real championship, would have been 13th, 14th in points, and ends up winning the championship. And you got like Kyle Larson, which I don't like Kyle, just to be clear. I'm not a fan. But should have won the championship. Obviously, he was the best driver last year, the best team. I don't get it. I don't get it. Sooner or later, the rooster is going to come home. The rooster's going to come home. However that phrase goes. Because it will eventually start costing them money down the road at some point. If it hasn't already. I don't see how it wouldn't have at this point. But you know, the TV contracts are keeping them above water. So, I don't know, man. It's just, it's silly. I had to say something about it because I don't understand. I want to touch on something with Formula 1 though real quick. Jack Doohan, I believe that's how you say his name. Doohan. It's spelt Doohan, I think you say Doohan. Drives for Alpine and is probably going to get cut loose. I think we're only like a handful of races into the season. He's going to be replaced by Calapinto. For those who don't know, Calapinto drove for Williams last year in a substitute role and had some decent runs. Had some really, made some really stupid mistakes. But he was a rookie, too, so you don't hold that against him. But they hired Jack before Calapinto became available. Jackson his rookie year. So then, straight out of the gate, it's been like, okay, well, you need to perform like great, basically, because if you don't, we're going to snatch you out of the car and put Calapinto in the car. Not really a fair situation, I would say, but like one cool thing is Jack's daddy was quoted a couple weeks ago. They asked him about the situation Jack's in, and I think they were trying to get a quote out of him, like saying something bad about the team. And his dad was like, "No, this is good. Like, put the pressure on him. You need to see how he's going to perform. He needs to see how he's going to perform under the pressure. And if he performs under the pressure, then he deserves to be there." The problem for Jack, though, is that he's had several accidents, avoidable accidents, this past weekend being one of them. It just, in Miami, he wrecked in turn 1, lap 1 with Liam Lawson, and it was Jack's fault. I mean, he just drove into the corner and ran into Liam. Knocked himself out of the race. That's another thing, though, about Formula 1 that drives me nuts is, so Jack just had a flat tire, just had a puncture. But based on their rules, like, even if you have a puncture, you're not really supposed to drive the car back around to the pit area to get a tire change. So I guess they don't want stuff littered all over the racetrack, but the car could keep going. Jack's car could keep going. I don't think there was any suspension damage. It was literally just a puncture. Would have been an easy fix if they would have allowed him to drive back around the track, but they didn't, so he was out on lap 1, and I think he finished last. So, anyways, he's not doing himself any favors. Don't quote me on this. Okay, you can quote me on this. I don't think Calapinto is going to do any better, to be fair with you. Some of the mistakes that he made last year, I know they were rookie mistakes, but they were so avoidable. So I think it's like a lateral exchange, in my opinion. I'm also a little bit biased because I like Jack. Jack's a cool guy. But I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, that's it. I just wanted to talk really about the NASCAR situation. Yeah, they're going back to Homestead instead of Phoenix. Whoop-de-frickin-do. The fundamental problems are still there. And like the series will continue to look like a joke at the end of the season every year. Can't take the championship seriously. Whoever wins the crown you can't take seriously. I mean, it's just God, it's a joke. Maybe one day it'll fix itself. But I'm not crossing my fingers. Anyways, if you found my rant interesting, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications. The works. We got some more projects coming up in the next week or two, so keep an eye out for that. Aside from that, check out our eBay page as well. The link's in the description if you're interested in auto parts, die-cast cars, t-shirts, hats. And when I say t-shirts and hats, I'm talking about old stuff like NASCAR t-shirts and different racing series shirts and hats and stuff. Not anything that we've made. This is all legit stuff, and by legit I mean like genuine stuff that was made by someone else. Made by NASCAR, whoever their apparel company is, and so on and so forth. So make sure to check all that out. Other than that, I appreciate you watching. It means a lot. Love you. We'll see you next time. Peace.
És 100 fölfele. 100 fölfele, jobb 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-ra bal 2 szűk, bal 2 szűk és bal 2, és